I never intended to move back to the city, not after what happened 10 years ago, but life, cruel, stubborn life, has a way of dragging you back to the very places you've tried to forget. The house I ended up renting wasn't old or haunted looking. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Modern, sleek, with white walls and quiet neighbors. It stood on a clean street in the middle of the city, lined with symmetrical trees and neat little homes where nothing bad could ever happen. It was too perfect, too still, and maybe that was the first sign. I just didn't notice. The house across the street is what got me. Not because it was strange, no, because it was utterly, aggressively normal. Blinds drawn, a mailbox that never overflowed, a porch light that came on at exactly 6:45 every evening, without fail. But I never saw anyone enter. I never saw anyone leave. The first night, I barely slept. I chalked it up to the stress of moving. New boxes, unfamiliar creaks, and my own racing mind that wouldn't shut up. At around 2:30 a.m., I remember looking out my bedroom window. The street was bathed in orange streetlight, and the house across the street, its upstairs window was wide open. I stared at it for a long time, not because an open window was strange, but because I could feel something looking back. There was nothing there, no shadow, no figure, just a presence. You know the feeling. When you're alone in a room, but your skin knows you're not. I closed the curtains and told myself I was tired. I didn't believe that, but I said it anyway. The next day passed quietly. I unpacked. I made coffee. I played the radio too loud to drown out the silence, but every time I passed by the front window, my eyes flicked across the street. That damned house, it just sat there, perfect and lifeless. I asked the mailman about it. Anyone live there? I said casually. He barely glanced at it. Not for years. Really? I asked. Looks pretty maintained. He gave a non-committal shrug. Some houses take care of themselves, I guess. That sentence haunted me all day. Some houses take care of themselves. That night, I heard footsteps. Not outside. Inside. Soft, deliberate steps on the second floor. The kind you hear when someone's trying not to wake you. I was downstairs, sitting in the dark, open and laughing. At first I thought it was my imagination, but when I muted the TV, I grabbed the bat I'd left by the kitchen door and crept upstairs. No lights were on, no windows open. I searched every room. There was nothing there, except the sound stopped. The next day, the upstairs window in the house across the street was shut. That was the first time it changed. The next few nights got stranger. Lights flickered, the air felt heavier. I'd find things not where I left them. My keys, my phone, my coffee cup sitting in places I never put them. But I lived alone. I've always lived alone. One night, I found the front door wide open. I know I locked it. I always lock it. But it stood there, yawning into the night, like a mouth waiting to swallow me. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the hallway, bat in hand, heart like a ticking clock. No footsteps, no voices, but the silence pressed in around me like walls made of cotton. On the seventh night, I saw a light in the house across the street. It was a faint blue glow, flickering from behind the living room curtains. I watched for a long time. Then it moved. The light, it moved like someone walking curtains fell back into place and the light vanished. That brings us to today. I haven't left the house in 2 days. I haven't answered my phone. I haven't eaten much. I keep thinking I'll wake up and this will all be a dream, but I don't. And now the upstairs window across the street is open again. Only this time, so is mine. I didn't open my window, I'm sure of it. And yet, when I walked upstairs this morning, there it was, wide open. The same window that faces the house across the street. The curtains moved gently in the breeze, even though the air outside felt dead still. I closed it slowly, carefully, like I might disturb something watching from the other side. That feeling again, like being stared at through a keyhole. But there's no keyhole, no door, just that house and mine. I started noticing sounds behind the walls, outlets. I know those sounds. These were different, just a suggestion of language, a breath that almost became a sentence, then vanished into the plaster. At night, the whispers got louder. Sometimes I'd hear my name. Other times, I'd hear a voice that sounded like mocking me, repeating thoughts I hadn't said out loud. You know you can't leave. There's nothing out there for you. You never left the house. I started sleeping. Lights on, TV playing static, just to drown it out. But it always came through, like the house had its own frequency just below the edge of hearing, and it was tuning me in. A few nights ago, I decided to record it, just to prove I wasn't losing my mind. I set my phone on the counter, hit record, and walked away. When I played it back the next morning, I heard nothing at first, just ambient silence. Then a low hum, almost like someone breathing, but deeper, wetter. And then a voice, not mine, not anything human. You let it in. I dropped the phone. I didn't sleep at all that night. The mailman doesn't come anymore. Packages pile up at my door untouched. I called the delivery company. They said I signed for them, but I never did. No one answers when I knock on neighbors' doors. It's like the whole street is asleep. Or dead. I tried leaving. Back to back. Got one call. The city looked strange. Twisted somehow. Like a version of it rendered to memory. I drove for what felt like hours. No traffic. No people. Just buildings that all look slightly wrong. Windows too tall. Shadows in the wrong places. Then I turned a corner, and I was back. Back on my street. Back in front of my house. Back where I started. The house across the street had its light on again. Yesterday, I found a notebook. It's filled with handwriting that looks like mine, but I don't remember writing it. One phrase is written over and over. The house knows your name. The house knows your name. The house. The last page was torn out. I checked the trash. Nothing. But when I went to sleep, I dreamt of that missing page. It said, "You are the house." I don't know how long I've been here. Time slips now. Mornings bleed into nights without transition. I stopped checking the date, stopped counting days. My phone no longer tells me the time, just stay inside. I hear the footsteps again. They're not upstairs anymore. They're in the walls, crawling down toward me, slow and careful, like they're waiting for something or someone. Sometimes I think I see myself reflected in the TV screen, only it isn't me. It smiles too much. It blinks too slowly. It watches when I look away. Last night, it waved. And now, as I record this, there's someone at the door. No, just the sound of breathing and a voice. Mine, saying, was unlocked, wide open, like something had been waiting for me to notice. There were no footprints, no signs of entry, just that smell, old wood, old, something sweet, almost familiar. I should have closed it, should have locked it. Instead, I stood there just listening. There was a room, one I'd never seen before, one I know wasn't there yesterday. I counted the doors in this house when I moved in, 5, including the basement. Now, there were 6. It looked the same as the others at first. Same faded brass knob, same frame, same peeling paint. But when I touched it, it was warm, like a hand had just left it. I didn't want to go in, but I did, because I think the house wanted me to. Inside, a bed, a mirror, a journal. The bed was made, sheets perfectly smooth like no one had ever touched them. But the pillow had an indentation, my shape. The mirror didn't show me, not the way it should have. It showed me in this room, lying on the bed, eyes open, mouth stitched shut. I turned away. The journal sat on the desk, open to a page I never wrote, but somehow I never liked it. It comes when you stop pretending the world outside is real. It comes when you look too long at your reflection. It comes when you forget how to inside. Already living in. Now that means there's a clock in the corner. It's ticking, but the hands don't move. Every time I look away, it's in a different place. Sometimes it's on the ceiling. Sometimes it's in the mirror. Once it was in my lap. I tried to leave the room and opened the door. Behind it wasn't the hall. It was the house across the street. Not from the outside. From inside. Door to step through, to come home. I didn't cross the threshold, not yet. But the moment I saw it, I knew it knew me. The walls were breathing. The lights flickered like eyelids. And somewhere upstairs, something laughed. My laugh. I slammed the door shut, locked it, pushed the desk in front of it, but I still hear it breathing through the wood. Still smell that sweet, rotten familiarity. I think the house is trying to tell me something, or maybe remind me. Today, I checked every wall in my house, measured every inch. There's no space where that room should be, no extra square footage, no architectural anomaly. It doesn't exist. But I've been inside it. I can still feel the warmth of the doorknob on my palm. I went to the attic again. The notebook is gone. In its place, the photo, a Polaroid of me, sleeping in that room, behind me, barely visible in the frame. The house across the street, even when it's unplugged. Last night, I saw someone in the upstairs window over there, waving. They were wearing my clothes, and they never blinked. I screamed at the screen, and responded. Voice, no number, no idea, just breathing. Then my voice whispered. Water tastes like static. I found a second mirror behind the bathroom cabinet. It doesn't reflect this world. It reflects the other one, the one where I'm already gone. And now, as I speak, the 6th door is open again. I didn't touch it. It just wants me to see. Inside, the bed is no longer made. The journal is blank. The mirror is smiling. I think if I go in this time, I won't come back out. But maybe that's the point. Maybe I've never really been out. Maybe I was always in the room that wasn't there. I didn't remember dreaming last night, but the bruises on my arms say otherwise. They're in the shape of hands, long fingers, too many knuckles. I checked the mirror this morning, not the bathroom mirror, the other one, the one in the room. It wasn't there. It showed me sitting on the floor, knees to chest, whispering to myself. I turned away, and I could still hear it. Remember me? The thing is, I do. Not completely, not clearly, in that very way, like remembering how to walk, breathe, something older than memory. The mirror remembers too. It's not glass anymore. It ripples like water, like it's waiting for me to fall in. Today I tried filming it. Pointed the phone, hit record. What showed up on the screen wasn't me, wasn't the room. It was footage of the house across the street. The bird, collapses, charred bones where walls stood, rubble, me smiling, holding the phone. I dropped it. The recording was gone when I picked it up again. I've been hearing a knocking from under the floorboards. Soft at first, rhythmic, then it started responding. If I knocked once, it knocked back. If I paused, it paused. I don't knock anymore. The couch is covered in dust now, even though I sleep there every night. Or I thought I did. This morning, I woke up in that room again. Door open, journal in my lap, mirror grinning. The journal had a new entry. You keep returning to the wrong house. What does that mean? I haven't left this place in days, weeks, maybe. And yet every time I turn a corner, open a door, something is different. The wallpaper, the floorboards, the photos on the wall. I don't recognize the faces, but they all look like me. Younger, some with their mouths sewn shut. Last night, I heard scratching behind the TV. When I pulled it forward, something was carved into the wall behind it. My name. And one sentence in red. You were never alive to begin with. There's someone in the house now. I haven't seen them, but I hear them. They breathe like they're remembering how. They step like they're learning to breathe. They whisper almost the same thing. I'm almost you. The static isn't just on the TV anymore. Now I hear it all. Not quite home. Something a pulse. Like something is trying to come through, or something already has. I tried pulling the power from the wall, everything unplugged, still it plays. Sometimes I catch a voice in the static, mine, saying things I haven't said yet, giving answers to questions I haven't asked. You died in that room? You are the noise? You're not the first one. That last one sticks, because now I find things, objects I've never owned, a child's drawing under the fridge, stick figures holding hands, one of them completely blacked out. A wedding ring, not mine, in the drain. A toothbrush with blood on the handle. How many people have lived here? How many thought they were real? How many are still here behind the walls? Yesterday I pulled the drywall open in the hallway. I needed to know. Behind it, more wallpaper. Then behind that, a room, another one. No lights, no windows. But I could feel heat, like breath, like the room was alive. There were names scratched into the floorboard. Most I didn't recognize. None I did. I tried writing my name beside it, but the wood wouldn't take the mark. It was already written too deep. There are footsteps now, constant, circling the house, above the ceiling, inside the floors. Sometimes 2 cents, sometimes wrong direction. I keep hearing someone laugh in the kitchen. When I go there, the fridge is gone, just a walk, smooth, until I turn around and the kitchen's normal again. I don't think this house has rooms anymore, just memories of rooms, echoes, And the more I listen, the more I remember things I never lived. A birthday I never had, a fight I never started, a fire I never lit, but I smell the smoke on my clothes. End of part 5. Part 6, the other side of the mirror. 15 to 20 minutes voiceover. Last night, I stepped through the mirror. I didn't mean to. It didn't ripple. It just let me in. On the other side, the house was the same, only off. The pictures moved when I blinked. The clocks ticked backwards. My reflection followed a second too late. And the light, it wasn't coming from the sun. There was no sun, only the glow from the house across the street. It looked wrong, even for me, white, taut, pulsing like a heart. And in the top window, me again, mouth open, screaming silently. In this place, the air tastes like gas. Words hang in the air like fog, waiting to be spoken. Journey is back. One final entry. The mirror is not a window. The house is not a place. You are not a person. You are the memory of all three. I saw my body in the hallway, still, breathing shallow, eyes open, watching. I asked who I wanted. She smiled. Last one. End of part 6. Part 7. Finally, I am the house. The 15 to 20 minutes voiceover. I'm sleeping. Not really. I just watch from the walls, from the mirrors, from everywhere. The house doesn't need doors now. I go where I want. I watch the new person move in. They look confused. They don't notice the 6th door yet. They will. I whisper to them in the static, not in words, just in reminders. They'll hear footsteps soon. They'll see their reflection smile wrong. They'll dream of me. And one night, they'll open the door, and I'll be there,